Moving on in our discussion about Reconstruction, we need to know several other factors besides those three constitutional amendments. Southern military leaders under Reconstruction policies are not going to be allowed to hold elective office. They can't be mayors, they can't be judges, they can't serve in the state legislature, Congress, or be U.S. senators. African Americans are going to be allowed to hold public office. The Southerners are going to resent Northern folks called carpetbaggers, who they feel took advantage of them during Reconstruction. Carpetbaggers are guys who came from the North after the war looking to get rich and would do whatever it took. They get the name by the carpet bags they carried when they came south. African Americans are going to gain equal rights as a result of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 is also going to authorize the use of federal troops in the South for its enforcement. So we'll have Northern soldiers supervising the South. The Freedmen's Bureau was established to aid formerly enslaved African Americans in the South. They were there specifically to help the former slaves get on a level footing. Before the Civil Rights Act of 1866, Southern states had started adopting things known as black codes. The black codes were designed to limit the economic and physical freedom of former slaves. The primary reason they adopt black codes is they don't want the former slaves to leave the South. Some black codes were so specific to say that it was against the law for you to move from the county you were born in, because they wanted to keep them around so that there was an opportunity to use them to continue to serve on the plantations in some way or shape. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 is going to make sure certain things. All persons born in the U.S. are citizens, and as citizens can make and enforce contracts. They can go to court. They can give evidence in court. They can inherit, purchase, lease, sell, hold real estate, property. Persons who denied those rights were going to be subject to a misdemeanor and could be fined up to $1,000 and end up in jail for no more than a year, or a combination of those two things. There's our friend the carpetbagger again. Please notice he's carrying a carpet bag. They came and they looked to get rich. Some came to do that. The Freedmen's Bureau were viewed as carpetbaggers too, because they were there to help the newly freed African Americans. They got the name because they carried only what they could fit in a carpet bag when they came to the South. Reconstruction is going to end in 1877. It's not going to end with great and glorious results, but by a political deal. See, here's what happens. In the election of 1876, neither of the two candidates, Tilden or Hayes, had enough electoral votes to win, which means that if nobody has a majority of electoral votes, the election goes to the House of Representatives. And in the House, each state gets one vote. So there was a lot of wheeling and dealing going on. And for Hayes to succeed, he made a deal with several southern states, Florida and Louisiana in particular, that he would vote to remove Northern troops from the South, which would effectively end Reconstruction, if those states would support him. They did. Rutherford B. Hayes becomes president, and he removes federal troops from the South. The rights that were gained during Reconstruction are going to be lost through Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws were designed to keep African Americans from having certain equalities with white Americans. Jim Crow laws are also going to affect the rights of American Indians, because in many states, including the state of Virginia, Indians and former slaves would be lumped into one category called colored and discriminated against equally. And that ends our little conversation about Reconstruction for today.